Hi, welcome back to another episode of What to Expect When You're Arrested. This is Sean Henricksen, and today we're going to be talking about what to expect at your first court date. Before we get to that, I do want to mention that in addition to hosting this podcast, I do also practice criminal defense here in San Antonio, and we help good people like you avoid the devastating consequences of criminal charges. So if you have any questions about anything I say during this episode, or if you're being charged with a crime here in San Antonio, just feel free to give me a call at 210-775-0852, and I'd be happy to discuss your case with you or discuss what to expect at your first court setting. One last thing before we get to the main part of the show is that I do have a free download for you. So if you look down in the show notes, you can click on the link and get a copy of 4 things that you need to do if you've been arrested. Click on that link and I can email that right over to you. Before your first court date, there's a little bit of stuff that you need to prepare and that you need to do. First off, if you've been appointed an attorney or if you hired an attorney, you're going to want to give your attorney a call a couple days before your court setting. Basically, you're just making sure that you've got the right calendar on your schedule and you're making sure that the court hasn't reset your court date or anything like that. And you can also ask any questions that you may have about your case right now. When you're going to court, you want to make sure that you dress conservatively. The court's not going to let you in if you're wearing flip-flops or shorts, and you want to make sure you're not wearing a graphic t-shirt or anything like that. You don't have to dress in a suit or anything, just dress a little bit more conservatively. And you want to make sure that you get to court early because navigating downtown is always a headache. Finding a parking spot and getting through security, it always takes more time than it seems like it should. So plan on getting down there earlier than you probably think that you need to. You also want to look up where the court's going to be. And so if you look on the notice that you received telling you when your court date is, it's also going to let you know what court your case is being assigned to. If you Google that court, it'll tell you where in the courthouse you need to go. So it'll normally tell you which floor it's on. Or if you don't want to do that, just ask your attorney. Your attorney should be able to direct you in the right place too. Because once you get inside of the courthouse, everything kind of looks the same and it can be hard to find out exactly where you need to go. Once you're in court, there's not too much for you to do on your first court date. Once you get in there, you'll be waiting for a little while. The judge is going to come out and the judge is going to go through and call everybody's case. When you hear your case being called, so the court's just going to call your name, just stand up. And if your attorney's there, your attorney will probably let the judge know that you're there. Or if your attorney's not there yet, just let the judge know that you're there. And that's basically the only thing that you're going to have to do during that first setting. If your attorney's not there, don't worry too much about that. Presumably, you've already been in contact with your attorney, so you know that he's got you on his calendar and everything else. But the attorneys generally have more than one setting on any particular day. So your attorney may just be handling somebody else's case first and getting to your case a little bit later on. If you're waiting around for a while and you haven't seen your attorney, then make sure to send your attorney a text message or call their office just to make sure that they're down there. After the judge is finished calling everybody's case, then your attorney is going to have an opportunity to talk to the prosecutor about your case. Normally at the first setting, there's not too much that's going on, but one of the things that we get when we let the court know that we're representing you is we start getting all of the potential discovery on your case. So police reports, videos, 911 calls, and different types of reports. And so at the first setting, a lot of times what we're dealing with is just letting the prosecutor know what is out there that we haven't received yet. The police report may mention a 911 call or may mention photos. And if we haven't received that, we know that that's something that we should be getting. And so we'll let the prosecutor know. The prosecutor may also make an offer during that first setting. And normally I recommend against taking an offer at the first setting, although every case is different. And so in your situation, it may be a good idea depending on how quickly you need this case taken care of. But any offer that we get, we're going to relay to you and we'll let you know kind of what our recommendation is as far as taking the offer. In a lot of cases, like I said, we still haven't had a chance to review all the discovery on the case. And so normally I recommend waiting until we have a chance to look over everything, or at least most everything, before making a decision on whether or not to take an offer. If you don't take the offer at that first setting, normally that offer is going to be open at the next few settings at least. So there's not really any pressure for you to take an offer at that first setting in most circumstances. After we're done talking with the prosecutor, we're probably going to go to the coordinator let them know that we've already talked with the prosecutor, kind of give the court a quick update on where your case is at, and then normally let them know that we're asking for the case to be reset. And the coordinator who's in charge of all the scheduling for the court will then give us a new court date, or will tell us that the court's going to send us a court date later on by email. And after that, normally we're going to go back and talk with you, kind of update you on the case. If I haven't spoken with my client about their case in a couple of weeks, then I may be updating them about anything that's happened in the past few weeks, or if I've had a chance to review any more discovery. I'm going to update them on what I spoke about with the prosecutor and what the prosecutor said about the case. If there's any sort of offer that was made, of course, I'm going to go ahead and relay that offer to my client. And I'm also going to make sure that you know when your next court date is, if we know that. If not, then I'll let you know that the court's going to send us that new court date later on. Ultimately, not too much is going to happen on your first court date. Most cases take several different court dates before they're resolved. Generally speaking, there's not normally very much that happens, at least from your perspective, on your first court date. You're going to show up to court, you're going to stand up when the judge calls your name, and after that, you're just going to be waiting around until your attorneys had the chance to talk with the prosecutor in the court. After that, your case is going to be reset. But now may also be a good time for you to talk with your attorney. So if you have any questions or anything like that, make sure to ask your attorney. But other than that, probably not too much is going to happen on your first court date. If you have any questions about what I've said, or if you've got a case here in the San Antonio area and you'd like to talk with me about your case, feel free to give me a call at 210-775-0852. Or like I said earlier, feel free to click down on that link in the notes below and you can schedule a consultation with me there. I really hope that this has been helpful to you, and I hope that you have a great day.